I would actually say it's funny because you're both UCLA guys. You and Maki have like, and I think Maki's might be a little bit more on the rigid side, but like the flat forehand, like it looks flat. I don't know how you feel it when you hit it, but I feel like your forehand is like sort of a unique, like a shot production. Like you, sometimes you like it looks like you kind of massage it flat, and then sometimes you like really hit it, or like sometimes you feel like your face might be almost kind of open, but you hit the shit out of the ball and you keep it in. Like I don't like when people are being taught the forehand. Like I guess in our generation, there was like a lot of stress on like the spin and the whatever.
Shape.
Did the shape? Was there ever battles with you coming up with coaches or whoever was teaching you how to play about the technique and trying to change that, or was it always that you hit the ball so clean that people just said leave it alone and just let him do his thing?
Oh yeah, I think yeah, for sure. Um, so I think there is a thing like, I mean, Evan King and I were talking about. I think like different sections, at least in the U.S., kind of like there's different styles of tennis. I think a lot of it has to do conditions. When you grow up in SoCal, all the courts are like not high bouncing. They're pretty fast. They haven't been resurfaced, and so it really is like when you see you're like outside the doubles out, and you're like, oh, I can go down the line, and you get rewarded for it. And so I think like you just from a young age you get rewarded for shots that you wouldn't maybe get in Florida when things are kind of bouncing higher, and you hit a high ball in like where I grew up, and the ball would just kind of sit. So
Yeah.
like I feel like there's a little bit of where you grow up kind of really makes a big difference. And so um, but yeah, I was lucky with my coach growing up that he was very much like, you need to play aggressive. Like you're not going to be as good in the 12, you're not going to be as good in the 14s, and he was like, you got to be aggressive. And so I kind of had that outlook on like, okay, I need to play to win. I need to be aggressive. I got to be the one that's dictating. But then I remember there's a couple coaches at some point, um, they were like, you got to do X drills. You got to lift the ball. And I was like, whoa, this is crazy rotation. Like, this is pretty cool to see the ball go like this. Like, I've never seen that before. And then like, I was like, oh, went to the, anyway. And, started
STA. Say the letters.
um, you're ripping you're doing 200s, you're doing 30 on, 30 off, 200s, and you're killing yourself. And you're like, oh my God, okay, like I'm crazy fit, like the ball's coming off nice, like I'm gonna go well. And then I go to a few tournaments. I go for like a month and a half. I go to a couple tournaments, and I lose to a guy two tournaments in a row that I'd never lost to. They were battles, but I was like what happened? I would chop this guy, and I've lost him 2 times in a row. I'm working so much harder.
You want to go ahead and name him or no?
Like the guy's actually turned out to be pretty nasty. Johnny Wang, USC guy, he was nasty, man.
Okay.
You guys gotta check him out. By the way,
Okay.
Okay.
He actually gave Crew a little bit of trouble.
Okay.
No, he was actually unreal, and the guy deserves respect.
Okay.
No, and afterwards it was like kind of like, whoa, like, what's happening? And it was a weird thing of like, you feel good, you're playing, like everything kind of looks good, but it's just not as effective. And then after that, it kind of was like a transition. You go to college, and then college, you're just like, you just want to win for your boys, and it was at that time, 2008, 2010, 2012, it was like Rafa came around, everyone's hitting with so much rotation. And so there was this thing where I actually think that after college, I was kind of trying to add too much rotation to the ball. And then it kind of took me a little while to be like, no, you don't have to. It's important to, you have to be able to play with variety and have to expose windows in which guys can't do well. But you don't have to hit heavy topspin on every shot. Like, play to win, play what's good. And I actually ended up shanking way more trying to hit spin. And it's weird. It just didn't connect. I'm a good ball striker, but when I try to hit spin, I was like, man, it's not that easy to hit the center of the string.
And there's probably a little bit to it where I've heard Carew actually talk about this, where he's saying that maybe there isn't that much free will in tennis. Maybe just the way that you're made up, it's better for you to play flat. Like your grips and your mindset, your style, it all lends you to being better at somebody who's taking the ball on and playing in probably like, let's say, tighter windows as opposed to these big arches, and it probably just suits you better. You probably play in that tempo and in that mindset better than, let's say, I don't know who plays with height. Obviously Rafa, like someone who's got like these big swings, and his game is those angles and those that rotation. So I just think it has a lot to do with also just genetics and just how you're made up, and you have to kind of embrace that, I think, or you spend a lot of time trying to be someone that you aren't, and that never really works. I think that always
Totally.
backfires.
Totally. I think every guy, like, I think there's a lot, like, again, I do think it's where you grew up, conditions that you play, who you played against. And it's like through years of playing, you just kind of see, okay, I'm comfortable. Like, oh, I see a window there, and your brain sees that. Maybe it's for whatever reason, your brain. And so like the openings that are there, it's like my mind sees that as opening versus other guys. It's
Yeah.
just, it's not there, you know? And so, and I think because I see that, then you do it more, and then you're more confident, and it just builds on itself. But I agree. It's like, but I agree with you on
Yeah.
that.
Hey guys, thanks for watching this clip. If you've enjoyed it, the full episode link will be in the description down below.